these ones, explain why you want them, and how they happen to be there. So the first one is HTTP routing. So when you've got a couple of applications deployed into your private cloud, then you're going to need something in front of them to work out, based on an incoming request, which application it is that needs to handle it to serve it. Also, when you've got multiple instances of your application, you need something sitting in front of it that's going to route that request to one of your instances, hopefully on some kind of algorithm that balances it nicely across them. You're also going to want something that ensures that if you bring up a new instance or you deploy a new application, that things get routed to it on demand. You need flexible routing that handles your application changing immediately. Next up, you get application distribution. So when you deploy your application normally, if you've just got one server to put it on, deployment doesn't tend to be a big problem. It's just copy the code on there, use some kind of deployment framework, and it's not a big problem. When you start getting to the point of wanting to deploy your application to multiple hosts, or your operations team wants to expand it out to another host, that's when things start getting a bit tricky. With Cloud Foundry, as long as your application has an executable entry point and can bundle up into a directory of files that it can shuffle around, you essentially get this for free. If your application needs more instances, Cloud Foundry will do that automatically when you give it the right command. If a host needs to be taken down, Cloud Foundry will find another place for your application. Or if your application happens to crash, it'll bring up another instance somewhere else. So all of that is just automatic. You don't even need to worry about it. Next is service binding. So as we pointed out just before, services are things like Redis or Rabbit or Postgres or MySQL. Normally, in most systems, you find that when you design the deployment, either someone says you just have to write a config file, someone in operations has told you where those resources happen to be, or they say you have to have your config file in a certain place, and they'll have some kind of automation that overwrites it. In the case